Hi there, this is Carrie from Stamp with CT. Welcome to our Facebook Live and welcome to February. I will wait just a minute to allow Facebook to send out some notifications. Hopefully they will do that for us this morning. And if you're watching the replay, hello replay crew, glad to have you here. We appreciate you watching. I say we because not only do I have Oliver with me this morning, but Dale is here to help too. Waving. So he is going to help us with, I guess you could say, the mechanics of this card. So I'll tell you in just a moment a little bit about the card that we're going to share today. I guess really it's more about the fold that we're using. So we'll give just a minute to let some people hop in. I think Facebook has been a little bit wonky lately, but we'll work with it. Okay. So happy Wednesday. We're going to do an awesome 4-fold card this morning. And I think you're going to love it. Now, a little bit of story behind this. We have used this fold in the past. I think it was in a stamp camp, and it's been a couple years ago. And I initially found the 4-fold card on a video on YouTube, and I don't even think it was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that shared it. But it was really complicated. And Dale came in while I was trying to figure it out, and he looked at it and said, there is an easier way to do this. And so he kind of redesigned the actual fold part of the card and made it much, much easier in a way that once you've created one, and what I would recommend is that you make a template of this card so that you have it on hand. But once you make one, you're going to easily remember just by looking at it because of the way that he designed the fold. It makes it super easy. So what is so special about this card? Well, this 4-fold card, it opens up and it gives us a lot of real estate to show off our pretty papers, to write messages, to really embellish and decorate this card. And it does stand up, so it would be great for someone to display on their desk or in their home. You could also decorate the back of the card if you wanted to, so that either way that it's standing, you have beautiful card to look at. Something else that has come to my mind in the past is you could put photos on this and display that. I think that would be really nice in an office, on a desk, just some family photos, or in my case, it would probably be pictures of Oliver that would be displayed, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about this, because even though it's fancy and it's always a wow card, it is super easy to make. So I'm going to put this one aside, and this one is actually created with the Fancy Flora Suite collection, and I created this card, or we created this card and shared it with other demonstrators when we went to Onstage in November, and they loved it as well. But it is so easy to create this pretty card. So give me just 1 second. Yes, we've got some friends that are joining, so glad you're here today. Now I'm going to show you the products that we're using today, and they are from the Rain Or Shine Suite collection, and this is from our new mini catalog. So on page 50, you have lots of different samples to show you how cute this suite is. And then when you turn over to page 51, you've got all the components of the suite, and I'll share those with you because we do have this entire suite in our craft room. We have not used it a lot, but I can tell you it is super, super cute, and I think you're going to love the card that we are creating today. Okay, let me move that to the side. And let's start first. What are the name of these little embellishments still? It's written so tiny.
Loose Daisy Embellishments.
Thank you. They are little daisies, and they are tiny, you guys. They're so super cute. Nice and flat, so when you add them to your projects, you're still going to be able to mail them with no problem. And there's a ton. I can't tell you exactly how many, probably.
It says 300.
Oh, wow. I was going to say 100, but yes, 300 of these tiny, cute little daisies. So that is the embellishment in this suite. I don't think there's any ribbon per se in this suite, but you've got lots of other good things coming. Okay, there is also an embossing folder, and this one has, you'll see us use it in just a moment, and I know that's not going to show up great on the video, but it just has some little raindrops, so we're going to be using that today. And then we have the Playing in the Rain bundle. So you've got a stamp die bundle. Now, a lot of these dies are kind of standalone. You've got a little bridge, you've got a fence, really, really cute. When we were at Onstage, the girl that did the presentation with this suite, what really stands out to me, and I remember, is she actually took some white cardstock and she covered it with packing tape. And then she cut the bridge and the fence from that. And it was so cool because it was like it already had embossing on it. It was really, really cool. Such a great technique. This is a super cute little stamp set as well. And then wait till I show you the Designer Series paper. I think you're going to love it. It's really cute, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It has some sweet little characters on it. And of course, they're also part of the stamp set. This is one of the papers, the rain paper, that we're really going to be using today. And you've got Flirty Flamingo, Old Olive, Balmy Blue, Mango Melody, which is not a color that I pull out a lot, but really, really cute. Oliver is not happy that Daddy's not picking him up. So you've got this super cute paper, and you've got some little images. Some do line up with the dies, but we're fussy cutting today, or we're using stylish shapes to cut those little images out to use. So this is the part where Dale is going to step in, because I want to show you how easy, and he wants to show you how easy it is to make this card. You're going to use 2 card bases, and one is just our standard card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and burnish this fold line really good. So there's our card, and I'll bring this over to show you that this is just this portion of the card. Oliver, why are you crying? And then for this other portion of the card, we've got this piece, and we're looking at 7 inches by, I'm trying to remember, 4 3/4.
Yes, 1 3/4.
So we'll burnish this as well. Do that really well. So now from here, and I want to talk to you just for a minute because I will go in and edit the description of the video. So don't worry so much about the measurements because I'll provide those for you. Just really want you to see how this card comes together. So from here, what you're going to need to remember is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to trade places with Dale. I'm going to bring in the paper trimmer, and then he's going to work his magic, and I'm going to move it up just a tiny bit, and we'll double check to make sure it's in the camera good. Can you see it, Dean?
No.
You gonna be able to cut it that?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first thing you want to do is get the piece that you want, this top.
So that's the front,
The front
of the main.
The front of the main card. We're going to take off 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
So I'm going to put that on
So from the score line?
From the score line, I'm going to move over to the right to the 3/4 of an inch mark, and I'm going to bring the cutter and press down on it, and then cut that off.
Okay.
And then the next thing I'm going to do is, once I've trimmed that 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to cut along the edge right there and remove that piece.
So you could do it on your trimmer if you want to, but probably easier just to snip it off, right?
I find it easier to snip off.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And then the next thing is I'm going to put this piece back in here, this front back in here. Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see if we can stand this up so y'all can see. I'm going to put it back on the 3/4 of an inch mark. Get it lined up.
Pull the cutting blade out of the way, right?
Yep. Pull it down to the bottom and then take the scoring blade and score it pretty good. Okay.
At what? 3/4 of an inch?
3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And then once that's done, we'll set this aside for just a moment. And because that's going to be the front piece, I'm just going to fold it back on itself and burnish it down good.
Okay. Just don't give us an earthquake, okay?
Oh, I'm good at that. And
He means business when he burnishes.
And that makes sure on the card, if you can see in here, there's that little bit of overlap when we cut
Like a
this.
little tab.
Like a little tab for the folding mechanism. So that's going to
Attach those two bases together.
So.
Okay. So that was super easy.
So I'm going to put part one aside.
Okay.
Bring the cutter back in.
Trimmer. And there's our obligatory train coming.
Oh, wow. That's great. We needed that. All right. And so I get the card base realigned like the other one, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to cut off 3/4 of an inch, but this time instead of folding it back, we're going to cut off another 3/4 of an inch off of each side.
Okay.
So I'm going to put this in here, put it on the 3/4 of an inch mark, bring my trimmer up here to that line, cut off 3/4 of an inch.
Deja vu.
Take some snips, yeah. This is kind of repetitive, isn't it?
Makes it super simple though.
And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. Put it back on the 3/4 of an inch mark. And trim off another 3/4. And that's the end of the cutting. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
That's the end of the cutting, and now
we're ready to go.
I'm
we'll
going to give
trade
it back to
places
you.
again. Okay.
Right.
Oliver. So I told you that's easy, right? So let's burnish one more time. I know Dale worked on that really well, but we'll burnish one more time while we have the opportunity, while it's apart. So see how simple that is. And it just makes such a cute fold. So now, as I'm sure you know, we're just going to pop that on the front, little bit of adhesive on this tab here. And I think I grabbed some liquid glue. Y'all keep your fingers crossed that this bottle is going to work, because you know me, I'm really bad about not closing my glue. Now Oliver's trying to get up on the table. He is really acting out today, isn't he? May need you to grab me a new glue, Dale. I don't know. Let's try this one. Kind of at the tail end of a couple bottles. Up, here it goes. This one's good, thank you. That's probably way more than what I need, but we will go ahead now. Just want to make sure I've got this facing the right way and glue this together. Try not to get glue all over my fingers. So even your seam is hidden there. And you're just going to line up that side and the bottom. Make sure you've got everything squared away. And get that. So now you can see how easy it is to make the 4-fold card. And now that we've got that part over and it wasn't hard at all, now we get to decorate. So that's a really fun part. So we're going to start with this largest panel here. And what we did was went ahead and cut some old Olive Cardstock and a piece of that fun paper that has the rain on it. And it's got some embossing. And so it is shiny and pretty. And we're going to go ahead and adhere those pieces. And like I said, we will post the measurements once the video is over. So you will have this. And I am so excited to see the 4-fold cards that you guys create. I know a lot of you recreate the cards that we share. That always makes us happy. And we like to share things that are easily reproduced. So I don't want to have you ever feel overwhelmed like it's something you can't do. That's going the right way. I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I guess it does. We'll put the raindrops like this. I think that looks pretty good. Let that dry for just a second and go ahead and add it to our card base.
Good art is always
at any angle.
at any angle.
I know you've said that before when I've put stuff together upside down, right?
What?
Just tilt your head.
Well, if you have the positive and negative space in the art, it's going to work out either way.
Okay.
So.
Alrighty, so there we go with that layer. And then we're going to come over to this next panel, and I'm doing pretty much the same layout where this is where I would write my message. Now, of course, if you need more room to write your message, you could decorate it in a different way, or certainly you could come over and decorate the back too. That would make it super simple. This would be a nice card, like for a retirement party, something that you know someone is going to, or more likely, going to keep and treasure. And a lot of people would be able to sign it. I always think of like at work where we're all scrunching in to put our signatures and a little message for somebody's birthday and stuff. So that would just give you a little bit more room. And I think I'm going to have to do one that has pictures on it. I think that would be really fun. And I want to thank a couple of friends, you know who you are, that have asked about this. We shared this card at the launch party. That was what, almost 2 weeks ago now? Week and a half ago? And several people wanted the measurements and how to make it. And then I got another message yesterday asking about this card. And so we had not planned anything yet for Facebook Live. Well, we kind of had, but we decided to do this instead because this was something that people were wanting. So we were able to make it happen. You can see we're just decorating, layering up just like we normally would with a card. Again, I'll share measurements when the video's over. So there we've got our spot that we'll be able to write a quick little message. And then we'll move over to the next section. Now, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but this is embossed with the Raindrop embossing folder, and it gives a nice deep impression. It would be fun even to maybe run your ink pad down this and give it just a little bit more depth and dimension. If you've ever done that, just kind of swipe that over, that embossed image. Or if you really live dangerously, you could ink your embossing folder before you embossed the cardstock.
Another thing you could do?
What's that?
We could Stella some of them dots.
Oh, yeah.
So that they'd have a little bit of shine to them.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be really fun. Okay, I'm just going to put these little raindrops now. onto our project. How's that looking?
Looks good.
Pretty good?
Looks very good.
Can you tell? Not really on camera.
No, it looks really good.
You can tell the raindrops?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just like you said, like the ink pad that we don't use very much, hardly ever, is that white ink pad. That
Oh,
would be another
right.
thing that you could.
It's like a craft ink pad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got another piece of designer series paper that we're going to add to another little piece of old Olive Cardstock. And we're just moving right along. Now, I am keeping the decoration of this pretty simple and straightforward. You could definitely go just crazy with this card, right?
How would that happen?
It could happen. I could see it happening.
And you're saying with a little extra surface area, you can
Oh,
add
you just,
embellishments?
oh yeah, you've got all kinds of opportunity, right? So this piece, you've got not only the back, but also the front that you decorate with the exact same measurements. So we'll go ahead. Let me make sure I've got my raindrops going the right way. I don't, I've got them upside down, so I'm flipping them and put my raindrops on this other little piece of old olive. I like the balmy blue and old olive together. The colors in this paper, really fun. Try to get that evened up pretty well.
Wait. Flirty Flamingo and Mango Melody are not two of the go-to colors, I would say.
No, I used to use Flirty Flamingo a lot, and I've kind of moved away from it. It's funny, you know, as we get different colors added to our line. But Flirty Flamingo is a nice bright pink. Okay, so there we go. Now that was fun, right, to decorate it, but we're going to take it, of course, to the next level. But you'll see here what our card looks like. Really fun. And now let's add some cute little characters. So first up, we've got this little turtle, and Dale used the Stylish Shapes dies to cut squares. That sounded really, really like a Texas drawl, didn't it? Stylish Shapes dies. And he cut two squares. One is from Mango Melody, and then one from the designer series paper. And this is going to be our focal image here on the front of the card. And I decided that what I wanted to do was kind of offset this little guy. I didn't necessarily want to mat it with a larger square. So we're going to do something a little bit different. And we're just going to add him. And I shouldn't have probably put glue all the places that I did, but we'll make it work. Just try to give a little border that has that stitching. That looks pretty good.
Looks very good.
And we're going to add him to the front of the card. So I just kind of wanted to get my placement here. And I will probably pop him up and bring him fairly close to the bottom, because I've got other little pieces to bring in, and one of those is a little storm cloud that I want right up here. So I've got it all designed out. Just, we're going to build this together. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a couple of dimensionals on our little turtle. Is he not precious? I love this. Let's grab a couple dimensionals, and so I want to put them, let me stop and think about what I'm doing. I want them more on this side, because that's going to overhang just a little bit. So we'll put plenty of dimensionals, since that's really going to be part of the opening mechanism. And we're going to bring him a little bit closer to the bottom. I think maybe right about there. I think that's squared up pretty well.
That's cute.
Looks really cute, doesn't it? And then I have this awesome little storm cloud, which I guess it doesn't really matter which way it goes. Maybe the gray should be on the bottom. And so we're going to add this right up here. And again, I want to use a dimensional or two to pop that up. And what's great, these images have almost like an embossing on the paper. So I'm not even going to have to really work too hard to make this card so cute. So we'll put this right up here, and maybe even kind of overlapping our focal image just a tiny bit. What do you think, Dee? Or bring it up here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Bring it up right about there.
Yeah.
So we have our little storm cloud and our cute little turtle. We're moving right along. And the next character that I want to put is this sweet little bunny. And I knew that I wanted it over here, and Dale was kind enough to fussy cut. It's got a little puddle underneath it. And again, this comes from the Designer Series paper. Now, I was thinking I would pop that up, but I think being inside the card, it's better that I don't. I'll just adhere it down, just put a little bit of liquid glue. So we'll put him right about there because I do want to add something, and I'm making sure that he is not going to show when the card's closed, and he's not. I guess it's a boy. What do you think?
Well, he's got a blue jacket on.
Okay. And then there's also a sheet that has several little umbrellas. Really cute. So let's give him this little umbrella. Even though he's got his rain jacket on. Okay, super cute. And then we've got a couple more umbrellas that have been fussy cut and another little storm cloud. So I think on this panel that has been embossed, we're going to use a couple of umbrellas. Let me see what I've got to choose from. This one, actually, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of blue there. So I'm going to put this one upside down because it's as if it is filled with water. So we'll add it there. And again, just fussy cut from the Designer Series paper. And we'll take this other little umbrella and add it going the other way. Just a little bit at an angle. And then I thought we could strategically place this storm cloud, maybe pop it up. Yeah. Okay. Trying to decide where we want it. Maybe right there in the center. So let's get a couple of dimensionals. And we'll be able to pop this little storm cloud up. So that's great because it's going to show from the front, but also on that section when we open it. So we'll put that right about there. It's not going to impede that, is it? There we go. So now we've got our little umbrellas and our storm cloud, but yet it still shows on the front too with our little turtle. So double storm cloud. Okay, we still have this umbrella left, this little closed umbrella. So let's put it, I don't know, maybe right here, maybe over here. We're going to put a sentiment right there. Do you mind handing me that stamp set again, Dale? I'm going to use some old olive ink. And I'm just going to bring those back in so you can see there's just a couple of sentiments, but just so you can get a better idea again of the images that come in the stamp set. So super cute. And it is a red rubber set. And I decided we would go with the sentiment that says, "Oh, happy day." And of course, Stylish Shapes die to add that sentiment. See how our stamping powers are today. Looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Looks amazing.
And I'll put this over on my chamois so I don't have a disaster. I don't know, I may bring that over here. That might look cute with our sentiment. I think maybe just across the top of the sentiment.
There you go.
Okay. And again, because this is on the inside, I think I'm just gonna adhere it down. And I think I do like this towards the bottom here. Maybe scoot it over a tiny bit. And then we'll just bring this little guy right in. So we have had some rain and sleet, haven't we? I don't know that we've had any snow, but we've had some sleet and freezing rain. I hope you guys are staying safe and warm. No matter really where you live in Texas, Dale was looking at the forecast and all last night, and it showed pretty much 3/4 of the state of Texas was getting hit with freezing rain and sleet and just yucky weather. Really, really cold, but I think other states also are being affected, so y'all stay safe and warm. So here is our super cute little Rain or Shine 4-fold card, you guys. Might even have to put another cloud up there. That would be cute. So really turned out adorable, and you can see just how simple it is to create that. I'll bring this other little fancy flora one back in again, so just to remind you how pretty it can be. So you can make it really, really pretty or really, really cute. Either way works, and I hope you enjoy creating this fold. Now, anytime that you recreate what we've shared with you, we love to see your creation. So I hope that you will send me a picture or drop one in the comments below. Okay, we have no happy mail this week, but I do have a door prize, and the way to be entered for a chance to win the door prize is just to leave a comment, put a thumbs up, or share the video with your friends or on Facebook, maybe even in a group that you're part of that's allowed under their terms and rules. Last week we had 11 shares, y'all. That's the most we've ever had, and I really, really appreciate that. I was trying to think what the project was. I can't bring it to mind right away, but I really appreciate y'all sharing. That lets Facebook know that you like the content and you think others should see it, so that really does help my page to grow. So all you have to do, leave a comment, thumbs up, heart, wow emoji. Sometimes I get an angry face, not terribly often, and I think it's somebody hit the wrong thing, but even that helps. Isn't that funny? And so, or if you share, any of that helps us. And so we like to do a little prize each week to just say thank you. And so this week, the dimensionals are going out to Paula Meek. So Paula, I'm going to put your name back on these dimensionals. You message me, please, with your address so we can get those sent out to you. And then I have a package of my favorite embellishment, iridescent rhinestones, and that's our prize for this week. So definitely leave those comments and reactions and shares, so that will enter you for a chance to win. I will randomly pick a winner next week and announce it on Facebook Live. I also want to share something exciting with you because y'all are so awesome. We have reached 1,000 followers on Stamp with CT. We're a little bit behind that on likes for the page, so if you haven't liked the page, I'd appreciate it if you did. But we hit 1,000 followers yesterday, so that is awesome. And honestly, following, I think, gives you more notifications from Facebook, so you see the content that we share. Okay, Dale, can you think of anything else? Just stay safe and warm, and happy February. We will be working on the newsletter today to get that out, to let you know what's coming up in February and early March. If you're not part of my mailing list, drop me a message and I'll be glad to add you so that you can know what events and classes are going on and be part of that if you'd like to. Okay, we'll talk to y'all later. Thanks so much.